Here he is, Groucho Marx, in You Bet Your Life. Presented by DeSoto and the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America.
The most exciting car today is now delighting the far highway. It's the Northwind, it's the Maverick, it's DeSoto.
Is the one, the only.
Well, what do you know? That's me. Well, here I am again with $2,500 for one of our couples. And if any of them say the secret word, the secret word, boys, will fly down and pay him $100. The word tonight is door. George Fenneman, who's first to try for the $2,500?
Well, just before we went on the air, we asked if there were any young single people present tonight. And our studio audience selected Miss Nina Kramer, Mr. Clarence Allen. And here they are. Folks, come on in here and meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers. And you say the secret word, you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. You're both single, eh? And would like to get married someday. Miss Nina, is that the way you pronounce it? Nina?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I used to know a tenor named Nina. Where are you from, Nina?
I'm originally from Chicago.
Uh-huh. How original were you in Chicago?
19 years ago.
19 years ago? Then you've been here about 2 years, is that right?
No, I've been here about 10 years.
Oh, you're not 29, are you?
Now you've got me confused. No, I'm 19.
You left Chicago 19 years ago and you're 19 years old?
No, I was 19
How did you come out, by bassinet? Would you mind repeating that whole thing again? How old are you?
I'm 19.
19?
Yes.
How long since you left Chicago?
Oh, about 10 years.
Oh, I see. That would make you 14 years old.
You could leave it at that.
Okay, leave it. And what's your hometown, sonny boy? Clarence?
I'm from Claremont, California.
Claremont?
Claremont.
I thought that was in Oklahoma.
Not the one in California.
Probably not. And I guess the one in Oklahoma is not the same one that's in California. That's where Will Rogers comes from, you know.
Oh, he does?
Claremont. See, now you've learned something tonight. That'll cost you $3. What is your age, Clarence?
I'm 25.
What kind of work do you do, Clarence?
I'm a geologist.
Don't change the subject. I asked you what kind of work. Well, geologists are really doing a wonderful work these days. Now, what do they do?
Oh, we study rocks, hunt for minerals, hunt for oil, hunt for anything valuable in the Earth's surface.
You actually look for rocks, is that it?
That's right.
Just wanted to be sure. In this program, we never take anything for granted, you know. Stop groaning. It's free, you know this. Nobody forced you to come down here tonight. I could have used all your tickets tonight. Now, as a mining engineer, what would you say is the most valuable mineral?
I'd say coal.
You would, huh? I'd hate to bring a girl a wedding ring made out of coal. How about uranium? Do you ever look for that?
Oh, yes, we look for uranium, although it's scarce enough around here, so normally it's only when we're looking for some other mineral as well.
You mean if you want to find uranium, you have to look for something else?
Well, that's what we do, yes.
That's kind of ridiculous. Why don't you start out looking for uranium? And then maybe you'd find coal. Now, Clarence, you're a nice guy, and I like you, and I want to see you and Nina well provided for in your married life. I'll tell you what you do. You give me $1, and I'll tell you where you can find uranium. Okay?
No. I know where I can find uranium myself.
Oh, you do, huh? I do, too, in the dictionary, and that's an old gag. What sort of work do you do?
I'm a librarian.
A librarian? Really? Is that so? I didn't realize librarians came this young.
Oh, well, there are lots of young girls in libraries.
Aren't you unusual? What's that?
There are lots of young girls in libraries.
Oh, is that so? I guess I'll have to start reading again. I used to belong to the Crook of the Month. Is that... what library do you work for?
The Beverly Hills Public Library.
Really? I live in Beverly Hills. I don't think I've been there. Where is it located?
Well, it's in the City Hall, right next to the police station.
Oh, I've been there, all right. On the other hand, maybe it was the library. As I recall, they booked me at the time. Now, let's see how well you work together as a team. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at $2,500. You selected animals and nursery rhymes. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
18.
18. Sounds good.
18. All right. What kind of a pet did old Mother Hubbard have?
A dog.
A dog is correct.
Well, you're on your way. You have $38.
Remember, you're going for $2,500 tonight. Now, how much of the 38 are you going to bet on this one?
36.
36. What ran after the farmer's wife?
3 blind mice.
3 blind mice. That's right.
I should say you are doing mighty well. You have $74.
$74. Here's your third question. How much you going to go for?
70?
73.
73. What did Bo Peep tend?
Sheep.
Sheep is right. Sheep at half the price. Sheep at half the price. I guess there's nothing there.
You have $147.
Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much you going to bet?
147. How does that
All
sound?
right.
How much have they got?
147 is doing the whole thing, huh?
Okay, whole thing.
Okay. What did Tom the Piper's son swipe?
Pig.
The pig is right.
And you two wind up with a grand total of $294. We invited some Army officers to the program tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Major Crossley. His partner is a housewife from the audience, Mrs. Sylvia Sparks. Folks, come out here and meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. Mrs. Sylvia Sparks, you're the housewife, huh?
Yes.
You look like you could give off many sparks. I used to wonder who was Sylvia. Where are you from, Syl?
New York.
You from New York?
Yes.
Uh-huh. What does your husband do?
He's a mechanical engineer at Norris Stamping and Manufacturing Company.
And Major Ross Crosley, what is your hometown, Major?
My home is Columbus, Ohio.
Are you married, Maj?
Yes, sir. Very much so.
Did you volunteer or were you drafted?
Sir, I volunteered.
Should have married the Army. After 20 years, the Army gives you a pension. How long you been married, Sylvia?
4 months.
4 months, huh? First time out?
Yes.
That's what they say at the racetrack. It's good enough for me, huh? You've been married 4 months, huh? Now, how long you been married, Major? I notice you have some decorations on. Is that from the marriage?
No, I've been married...
Distinguished service at home in the kitchen?
No. Groucho, I've been married for 13 years.
Now, which branch of the service are you in?
I'm in the Quartermaster Corps.
Now, what do you do as a quartermaster?
Well, we supervise the procurement of perishable foods for the armed forces.
Well, like what, for example?
Well,
what kind
like
of supplies do you purchase?
meats and dairy products and fresh fruits and vegetables, eggs, butter.
Well, do you pay retail or wholesale prices?
Well, we pay wholesale prices. We can't afford to pay retail prices because we buy in such large volumes.
I buy in small quantities, and I can't afford to pay retail prices. And when you buy in such large quantities, how do you know you're not getting stung?
We have everything inspected, Groucho. If we, for example, if we buy meat, why, we have the veterinarian inspect all of it.
Well, where do you buy your meat, Santa Anita?
No, we buy buy our meat in the manner, as I just told you, from the packing houses and so forth.
Now, suppose you buy a carload of strawberries. Do you turn the train over to see if the bad ones are on the bottom?
No, we...
How do you know that all the strawberries are going to be good?
We have inspectors look at the strawberries.
What are they? Are they on the bottom of the car?
Well, they don't turn the whole bottom over, but they may pick a crate here and crate there, and sometimes they look on the bottom, too.
Well, by the way, as a quartermaster, would you say the Army travels on its stomach?
Yes, definitely, yes. The
Must
Army
be quite a
travels-
sight after a 20-mile hike. All those soldiers soaking their tired stomachs in a bucket of warm water. All right, now, suppose you're buying meat for your own home. What do you look for? You, Mrs. Sparks.
The butcher. Well, that is, there's one butcher I usually go to.
Oh, you look at
and
the butcher first, huh?
I ask him.
Mrs. Sparks, Uncle Sam needs you. If there were more women like you in the service, the Army would stop traveling on the stomach. They'd get up on their toes and follow you. Well, I've learned a lot about shopping tonight. Now, let's see if you two can win a little grocery money. You might win $2,500. Run you $20 into more than our other couples. I can't tell you how much our first couple won, but Fenneman's offstage to remind our listeners.
The librarian and the engineer won $294.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You select the George Washington as your subject. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
15.
Let's make it 15.
15.
15? What is the name of George Washington's home?
Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon is correct.
You're off to a good start. Yeah, $35.
You'd have missed that, Major. You'd have been drummed out of the Army. Huh? Remember, you're going for $2,500 tonight. Now, how much of the 35 you're going to go for?
Oh, we'll go for 20.
20? Is that all right, Mrs.
Yes.
Sparks? What's the first name of George Washington's wife?
Martha.
Martha is right.
You're now at $55.
She certainly had a lot of candy stores at one time, yeah. Here's your third question. How much of the 55 you going to bet?
And we bet it all.
You're going to bet the 55? All right, where did Washington's army spend the bitter winter of 1777?
Valley Forge.
Valley Forge is right.
Now you have $110.
You got $110, and here's your last chance to beat the others. Now, how much you going to bet?
90.
90, is that all right, Sylvia? In what state was George Washington born?
Virginia.
Virginia is correct. Put it down, Major. Okay. Sylvia, you did a fine job.
And you wind up with a grand
all
total.
through this thing. Now, you too, fella.
You wind up with a grand total of $200, and thank you very much. Groucho,
Yeah?
the secret word is still door.
Talk slow, like it'll drag of this.
All right. I was going to say that we invited some girl swimmers to the program tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Norma Welts. Her partner is a sculptor, Mr. Yugoslavian, and here they are.
Welcome, folks, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Over here, Mr.
Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. A girl swimmer and a sculptor, eh? Norma Wells, is that?
That's right.
Yucca Salamunich?
That's right.
That's a very famous name. I've often seen it in the menu at the Brown Davy. You're some kind of an hors d'oeuvre, aren't you?
No, I'm a sculptor.
A sculptor, huh? Oh. That's quite a jump from hors d'oeuvres, huh? How did you ever get a name like Yucca Salamunich?
Just like you did. My parents give it to me.
As far as I know, your parents didn't even know me. Now, what does your name mean in the Brown Davy?
It means salt of Munich.
It means what?
Salt of Munich.
Salt of Munich?
That's right.
Oh. Now, where are you from, Mr. Salamunich?
I was born in Yugoslavia.
Why did you come to California?
My doctor advised me to get rid of my sinus trouble I have.
And did you get rid of your sinus?
It gets worse than ever.
You say you didn't get rid of your sinus?
No, it's worse than before.
Well, in that case, it's a good thing you came to California. At least you did get rid of your doctor. Could you sound off in Yugoslavian, Yucca?
Sure.
I speak it very well, you know. Go ahead, say something.
Ty imasz veoma dobru glavu.
Oh, you're a Southern Jew. Okay, I give up. What did you say?
You have very interesting head.
It's really nothing. As a matter of fact, it is nothing. I've seen better heads on a glass of beer. Are you married, Yuck?
Yeah.
I'll call you Yuck. We get familiar very swiftly on this show. You're married, Yuck?
Yeah.
How'd you meet your wife?
Well, she used to come to my classes where I used to lecture in the sculpturing, on sculpturing.
Oh, you were a lecturer?
Lecturing.
Oh, a lecturer.
Teaching.
Oh, I don't hear very well.
I don't either.
And how did you meet her? She was sitting in the audience? And
Yes,
she was
teaching.
spellbound at your lecture?
She was not spellbound, but she was attracted to me, you see, and I had fallen in love with her nose.
You fell in love with her nose?
That's right.
Did she have it with her?
Yes. Particularly her left nostril.
You fell in love with her left nostril, huh? What was the matter with the right one? And what happened? You walked up to her after the lecture?
Yeah.
And what did you say to her?
I told her I like your nose.
No, this isn't your wife. You're a little... Now, Norma, that's a very pretty name, Norman. You're a very pretty girl. Huh?
Thank you.
Have you always been this pretty?
Well, I guess so.
You're a swimmer. Huh? Do you swim for a living?
No, I'm a low freshman at SC.
What kind of course are you taking there? 3 points to the starboard?
No, elementary education.
Oh. How old are you?
18.
18, huh? Are you being rushed by any of the fraternities at school?
No, you mean sororities. Fraternities don't rush women.
Things have certainly changed since I went to school. We used to rush anything. Mr. Solomunic, haven't you got a nickname? What'll I call you? You don't want me to call you Yuck, huh?
Call me Yuk or George.
I'll call you Yuck.
I like sculpture.
Let's talk about sculpturing. How did you acquire this skill?
Well, first I was born.
Well,
Then I
it's
went-
reasonable to believe.
Then I went to a famous academy to study.
And then?
And then I became a sculptor.
Well, how did you decide to become a sculptor?
I kind of like it, appealed to my sense. I study technical thing about sculpture, history of art, and anatomy.
Well, I've studied anatomy, but I doubt if I could ever be a sculptor. However, I'm told I'm a pretty good chiseler. Now, do you think that Norma here would make a good statue?
I think she would.
Are you looking at her nostril, or are you just...
Well, I'm looking at her interesting head. She has a very fine proportion head. Very beautiful nose.
Steady there, Yuck. Now, when you see a beautiful woman, what's the first thing an artist like yourself looks for? What a ridiculous
I
question.
look at her eyes.
I'm surprised they don't throw me out of here. Pardon me, I didn't hear what you said.
I say I look at her eyes.
You look at the eyes first?
Yes.
Well, I can see I'd be a total loss as a sculptor. Norma, close your eyes. Now, Yuck, you tell me the color of Norma's eyes.
I don't know.
I thought you just told me you always looked at a woman's eyes.
Yeah, but I look at her eyes, of the depth of her soul, of her emotion, of her beauty, inner beauty. You see what I mean?
I know. Beauty is only skin deep, eh? And that's good enough for me. Norma, you can open your eyes now. I put my mask back on. Now, Yuck, look into Norma's eyes and tell me, what does she look like inside?
I think she has a very beautiful soul, no? Very fine expression, very depth. She's a good person. I can see it.
You keep looking on the inside, I'll keep looking on the outside. Now, Yuck, have you done any well-known people in bronze or stone?
Yes. I did one of the President Roosevelt before he
President
died.
Roosevelt? Well, you
Yes.
must be very good, huh?
I suppose.
I'll have more respect for you now. You did Roosevelt?
Yes.
And how was he? Was he quiet when
It was very interesting. You see, during this work, he asked me, he says, what do you want me to do? I told him to keep his mouth closed, you see. And
Are you a Republican?
No. The next day, the newspaper misinterpreted my story, and I told him to keep his mouth shut. Of course, I didn't. I just told him to keep his mouth closed because, you know, when you work, you have to keep your mouth closed, you know.
I want to tell you that we're honored to have you here. I had no idea that you were such a talented sculptor.
Thank you.
I thought you were one of those cheap guys that stood on Atlantic City on the beach or something. Now, Norma, what is your specialty as a swimmer?
Backstroke.
The backstroke? Could you give us an example of the backstroke?
Right here.
Well, why not? I haven't got any water.
I don't think that's enough.
It's not enough, huh? No. Is there any water in the audience? Well, just get it a kind of what they call a dry run.
Okay. Like that. It's easy. To swim.
And that's all you do?
That's all you do, and kick your feet.
Don't you do? Huh?
Kick your feet.
Well, do it and kick your feet at the same time. Well, thanks to you two, I know all about swimming and sculpting, and if I ever decide to have my statue carved, I'll go jump in the lake. Well, let's see how well you make out in the quiz. You run your $20 into more than our other couples, and you'll get a chance at the $2,500 question. Now, I can't tell you how much our other couples won, but George Fenneman is off stage to remind our listeners.
The librarian and the engineer are still ahead with $294.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected international landmarks. Here's your first question. How much of the 20 are you going to risk?
$15, yeah.
15? In what country do you find the pyramids?
In Egypt.
Egypt is right.
And you're off to a good start. You have $35.
You got $35. Remember, you're going for $2,500 tonight. Now, how much of the 35 are you going to bet on this?
30.
Okay.
30. In what country do you find the Louvre? L-O-U-V-R-E.
Louvre in France.
In France is right.
Now you have $65.
$65. How much are you going to bet this time?
We bet 60.
Okay. 60.
Yuck is a real chiseler, isn't it? In what country do you find the Leaning Tower?
In Pisa, Italy.
In Italy is right.
Now you find the $125.
$125 is your last chance to beat the other couples. How much are you going to go for?
120. 125 is that.
Yeah, let's put the whole business.
Don't kiss her, Yuck. Just talk it over.
Okay. 125 is that.
Let's put 125. Yeah.
Okay.
In what country do you find the Acropolis?
In Greece.
In Greece is right.
And you wind up with a grand total of $250. And that means the librarian and the geologist with $294 get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $2,500 question.
All right, now we'll find out. You've been hanging around these books all these years. We'll find out if you really know anything. Here we go for $2,500. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so think carefully and please, no help from the audience. Here it is. If the President of the United States and the Vice President should both resign, who is next in line to succeed to the office of Chief Executive?
The Secretary of State.
Is the Secretary of State or the Chief Justice?
One answer between you. Talk it over. Talk it over.
I'll say Secretary of State.
And we want one answer between you. All right, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
We'll say the Secretary of State.
No, I'm sorry. According to law passed in 1947, the Speaker of the House of Representatives. So that means the big question next week will be worth $3,000. Well, you lost the big money, but you won how much? $294 in the quiz. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.